So at the moment we are cruising around trying to find some dry dirt. And then I happened to run into that snake, and I thought of you, Randy, the master pipe player. Scared to death of snakes he is. That's just a black snake, just chilling out. Now, to be completely honest, if I wasn't worried about these tires flinging him on me, I might just get rid of him, but we'll just let him chill out. But this is May 31st. Now the problem is that it's not going to rain today. It's going to rain basically all day tomorrow and basically all day the next day. That's the problem. So we're trying to see what we can plant. This is the last field that I planted anything in. I planted 10 acres of this field 6 days ago. The beans should be starting to pop. Just gonna drive over here and see if we can see it. Part of this field's going to be too wet today, unfortunately, it appears. And these beans got to be close. Where are they? Oh, there's one sprouting. Now we do have some we're going to plant today. I just looked at a 45-acre field. It's very close. By this afternoon, it'll be good. It's supposed to be 90 today. This field is, I don't know if we'll get to this one today or not. Might get to half of it, but like over here is still very wet. That's why I tried to plant this part of it first. This is a very wet portion of the field. Yeah, right here, this is the topper part of this field. It's very close. A lot of sand in that dirt. So this should dry out today. I think we'll be good to come here today, this evening. This is our single biggest field, so I would like to get it finished. Unfortunately, the other fields that aren't done, other than the two I just looked at, if we get the rain they're calling for, they'll probably get planted, but they will get planted later in June. They might be more like double crops this year. So we got some seed in the seed tender. We've got one hopper empty. We'll go ahead and fill up the empty one. The other one's got about 20 acres worth of seed. And then we are going to, well, we're going to head on out of here. We're still a three-wheeled Bandit. We're probably not going to put the other one back on for a time. Now you may be wondering, why would we do that? Well, you'll see tomorrow. Oil's good. Let's just say we've got a piece of equipment coming that we're going to run with this tractor, and that you don't want the duals on for that piece of equipment. So we are getting that tire fixed. It will go back on here eventually, but I mean, we will finish taking the rest of the dish off because we don't want duals for what we're going to be running with this next. Oh! I don't really remember which one of these is empty. Apparently it was this one. Tender's loaded. Tender's loaded. Planter's loaded. Drill's loaded. Whatever it is. The planting apparatus is loaded. Now here's our seed tag for the seed we just put in. Very important information here when we figure out how many pounds we're trying to do per acre. We are trying to drop down. I have been putting on 55 pounds. I might up that a bit now that we're a little later. But I'm trying to do 155,000 seeds per acre. So this number is pretty critical. That's how we figure that. So we might up that to 160. The later it gets, that won't really hurt any. Just giving more beans a chance to produce. Okay, setting up my calibration here. I had to go in and change my products. So one thing I've found myself screwing up multiple times when I change varieties, not putting it in the ag leader. So here I'm pulling out of this bin at the moment, but this is the one we just filled up. This is the Pioneer variety. You know, this thing records a lot of data, but if you don't put the data in right for it to record, it won't record it right, oddly enough. But anyways, now we gotta go back here and calibrate. So for the people that have been watching us all year, you're probably tired of me explaining this, but basically right now we have to calibrate this thing because we switched varieties. So unlike a regular corn planter, we're not counting seed, we are just counting revolutions of a meter. In order to know how many seeds are coming out with that meter, we have to do a weigh calibration. I'm going to run some seed into this bag like so, and then we will weigh with a little fish scale how many pounds of seed we just ran out. We'll compare it to what the monitor thinks we put out, put that in there, the monitor calibrate or configure a calibration factor, and then we'll be good to go. Pretty important for maintaining accuracy. In all honesty though, we could probably get by with just weighing, a lot of times we wouldn't have to do this, is what I'm saying. Most of the seeds are so close in weight, it wouldn't matter. But not all of them. So we got 17.4. Then we'll subtract away the bag, and that's our weight. Dump our seed back in our hopper, and we're good to go. Now we also need to latch these things, or that would be bad. Basically all the seed would just meter right onto the ground. Sometimes this takes two hands. Hey, there we go. Just in time, it's starting to get hot. Back in the cab we go. So oddly enough, we didn't change much, like less than 1/100 of a pound. So I guess that's good. So we're going to head to the fuel tanks. I only have one fuel bar, so we probably ought to get that filled up. The ground's still a little damp, so an extra 20 minutes, it really isn't going to matter all that much. So I think Dad is going to post spray this corn right here. If you notice these dirty windows, there's just grass real thick in there. For some reason when he sprayed it before, it just laughed at the dose of Roundup he gave it. So I think he's going to put on a heavier rate of Roundup and see if we can kill that. That grass is annoying. Fortunately where we strip tilled, we're not getting smothered out. There is enough light getting down in there. That corn's still there, still growing, but that grass is just taking nutrients from that corn. Now we need to get it killed. And it's about time to post spray anyways, so he's gonna full send into that this morning, I believe. I think he's down there. I see the sprayer. We'll give him a camera and he'll probably tell you all about it. So Dad fills up using this Chem. Basically we got a float on this water tank, shuts off once we get 1,600 gallons. Sprayer holds 1,200 gallons, that's more than enough water. Water comes out of this, through this pump, through this induction system, up into the sprayer. But in there we can induct chemical, like right now this Roundup tote is plugged directly into it. So it's sprinkling Roundup in there. He's about ready to put some carabiner in, that's the name of the product, into this big tote right here, and then it will flush it in there. Just everything gets mixed right here. The Chembine's been a pretty handy addition. We got Dad pretty well loaded up over there. We did swap out our tires, so that's one of the reasons why he hadn't sprayed that Roundup yet. He wanted to leave the floater tires on to spray some 28 on some corn ground, but it was time. Like I say, it's time to start post-spraying. Post-spraying is when we spray after the corn is popped up. That'll be the last herbicide application usually. There might be a fungicide application later in the year, but yeah, it's time to do that. He's going around checking his lugs right now. He did just drive that thing over here from the shop. Swapped those out yesterday, and he can straddle corn rows now. That's why we run the skinny tires, straddling the corn rows instead of running over corn.
So day after tomorrow day, spray some corn. It's really dirty. Some of that cheap grass along the edges. We didn't get enough Roundup on when I sprayed it. Burned it down the first time. And cold. So didn't get enough on it, but we'll spray it there.
So as you can see, we are in a standing bean field. I planted this field quite a while ago now. Probably close to a month. But I did not have my look-ahead settings right. So we have these blocks of no beans, like right there, and then we have a lot of overlap over there. That was where it was shutting off late and turning on late. So we're going back through and planting it. Now, we are planting through standing beans. Like right there, we're running over standing beans. We're putting new beans down there. This is at lower rate. I'm planting at 40 pounds per acre, which would probably be like the equivalent of dropping roughly 120,000 seeds per acre. Basically, we are doing this for two reasons. One, it looks terrible. It looks absolutely terrible when you see them. If you're just driving by real fast, you won't even notice, but we see them, drives us crazy. Two, there's going to be more weed pressure here because there's just bare ground. So in the summer, after we've sprayed and all of our residual sprays have wore off, that ground will be full of weeds. Don't want that for multiple reasons. One, those weeds will go to seed, and that will create a weed problem there for years to come. Don't want that. And two, well, that's just ground that's not getting any crops on it. So we'll get crops on there. Something will grow there, keep it shaded, keep weeds from growing. We'll make a little bit of money. The beans that we were running over, most of them will survive this, some of them will not, but the ones that we were putting in the place will make up for it. The biggest pain in the butt is it takes time, seed, and we're wasting a little bit of seed. We're definitely overlapping, but I'd rather do it now than look at it the rest of the year. I've had to do this before. When we first got the very first case planter, we had a setting wrong on it. The blocks of empty beans weren't near as bad, and I caught it earlier. But luckily we only have about 200 acres like this. This field and that field over there. Now there are a couple other fields, but they're late enough along, and I ran the planter manually instead of using shutoffs, so we're just gonna redo this one and that one right there.
Okay, we're up here at the field. You can see that cheatgrass here along the edges. This is first we planted, and I got some 28 burn on it. The ends here where I got too much 28, I put it on with my nozzle. I put on my wheat, and the corn was probably 2-3 inches tall. They burnt a little bit of it in some places. The strip tail it ain't fun to spray because you get off a little bit of them soft grids, off them soft strip tail places, and it'll pull you. My God, it's rough too. Woo! Shake me apart going across these ridges. I had my root cleaners too deep, didn't get them set right. Forgot about how to set them. That's why it's so rough going crossways like this. Oh my goodness. Running on my centers where the tractor run, and they are soft, so that helps a little bit, but it's still hard to stay on there. Get that little soft one, sucks you right into it.
Well, that thing's folding up. I'll show you out here. You can see we just planted through these beans. Pretty thin right here, that's why I went through it, but like here's some beans that were pretty thick we went through. Most of those will be okay, especially with this rain we got coming in tomorrow. Perk them right back up. So our channel dealer, Clint Roush, he called and said, hey, where you guys at? I got lunch. So can't beat that. Got lunch delivered. I mean, I had a stick of beef jerky. Maybe we'll just save that for dinner. Heck yeah, man.
I'm the guy you want to see for once.
Yeah.
You got the food.
Lots of stalks to plant through in this part of the field. Luckily, it's just like an acre right here. The rest of the field's in pretty good shape. The stand's probably going to be pretty thin here. I know some people have said, well, if it rains, you'll be fine. This is true, but if you don't have good seed to soil contact, you're just starting off at a disadvantage, and I'm afraid, like right there in that high residue, we might be in that situation. But, being that it's this late, we have 0% chance of this field making any kind of production if we don't plant it, so we're planting it. So we're going to the field that we cleared a bunch of ground with that, the D8. So I'm going to plant around it. Now, as of right now, the plan is to not plant that new ground. It will probably get planted around double crop time after we've had some time to, go over it a few times, pick up sticks, pick up roots. But everybody's been in such a hurry this fall, or this spring, that it just hasn't happened yet. So Dad dozed off a hill right here and pushed it out here, and we about got stuck in that loose dirt. Very near got stuck. This stuff's real unsettled. Like even right now we're spinning. You can see it's real loose there. A few years it'll settle out, but for this year we might have to go around some of that. Okay, so we have roughly 60 acres left of that Pioneer seed. We also have another variety we're going to put in. So we're going to empty the tender, stick the other variety in tender, run it into the other seed box, recalibrate that meter, and then we'll be good to go. Side note, it's about 90 degrees now. Nice and toasty. So the seed that we need is in this barn, but it's also behind a tractor and other seed tenders, so hopefully we can get to it. It's in a pro box. Looks like we're going to have to move this semi out of the way. So Dad's going to go try planting. Fortunately, the ground he's going to plant is a lot wetter than the ground that we've been planting, but he's going to load up and give it a try. Got some bags. He's afraid to put a whole box in because if we don't get this corn plant before this next rain, and it rains as much as they're talking, we may pass our insurance date on corn, which means that any corn planted after that date will not be eligible for crop insurance. It's June 5th in this area, I believe. So this is May 31st. So we get, you know, a 2-inch rain. That might put us up against it, especially the ground we've got left. The ground we have left is wetter, heavier ground anyways. Now, like I say, he's only got about 150 acres. There's about 40 or 50 he can do tonight. It's supposed to not rain till tomorrow evening, so maybe it'll dry out enough that we can mud in the rest of it and hope for the best. I don't know. There's a little section right here that has not been tilled at all. This will be 100% no-till stalks right here. And that's really the first corn stalks that are complete no-till we planted through with this. And they're flowing through those 10-inch units fine. That was a concern I had. These aren't staggered. They are all in a line, these units. Kind of worried how debris would flow through there, but it doesn't seem to really be affecting it at all. So far, all springs, the main questions I've got is, how do we like the Avatar and where's the Fendt tractor? So, addressing the Avatar, so far I like it. It did take us a little while to get some of the things dialed in, get used to a few things. This is an air seeder, not a planter. There is a difference. But overall, I'm liking it as the beans are growing and maturing and filling. The stands look pretty good. So far, so good. I do wish we would have had a 15-inch planter. If spring's just been really chaotic, so I didn't want to ask a neighbor or a friend to come over and make me a few passes side by side, but I'd love to see a side by side of 15-inch and 10-inch, see if we're leaving anything on the table with it. But so far, big fan. Now, back to the Fendt. Get asked that pretty much every video is, I thought you guys bought a Fendt tractor. Where's the Fendt tractor at? How come you're not using the Fendt tractor? That tractor was ordered in that video, so we will not be receiving that tractor till August, September time frame. That's why you guys haven't seen it yet. I ain't holding it out on you. If we had it, we'd be using it for something. So that tractor will be replacing Dad's corn planting tractor next year.
Okay, done spraying. A couple hundred acres got sprayed. Now we're going to plant about 35 acres of corn here. I think it's dry enough. BJ ran over with the accelerator. Across the road here to the bends. Bad parts, there's 4 fields, so it'll take a while. So we got some corn in there. So I think we got enough to plant this over here. So we'll see how we get along. Okay, we're down here in this little field, a couple acres here. Take longer to unfold, get down here and then go and plant it. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus God. Finally got it going. Jesus God. When I set it down there, the tractor was going backwards just real slow, and when it got down before I seen it, it was just enough to suck about just a hair of dirt into one of the 2 of them tubes and stop the tubes. The belts were turning, so that's and take it apart, clean them out. Now it's going fine. Okay, got this field done. Up the hill we go. The hill pretty steep. About 13 acres here, crooked as can be. Time I get 2 rounds around, won't be much left to plant. It's crooked.
So BJ is right behind me. He's going to hop in here and get a quick lesson on how to run the Avatar. He's never ran it, and at some point he's probably going to have to run it here pretty soon. So we're going to pick him up, let him run this for a couple hours, and I'm going to go to a baseball game. This is about the only field we're going to get done tonight. By the time we get this done, it'll be pretty late. He's still got to till the remaining fields. So I assume he's going to ride with me around.
I had a milkshake before he went land and decided he needed it more than you.
Say, that doesn't look like you found that crop scouting.
Hey, how we doing? Long time no see, gang. So, yep, I'm sowing beans, planting beans, dropping on the ground, something. Not really sure what I'm doing. First trip down back and forth in the field in this thing, with that thing. Been in this thing before, just not with that thing. So, yeah. So far, no beeping. I've been told that thing says we're okay. and that thing says we're okay, and that's good stuff. So, yep, we're doing it.
Okay, just finish this field and head up to the shed. So it looks like we got about 140 acres to go, maybe. Something like that. Wet ground. Hope it don't rain. If it don't rain, we'll get done here next day or a couple of days. Maybe another day of drying out over there, maybe 2. But we got this patch done, patches. I got everything working good. Just trouble I had was that dirt, couple of tubes backed up. Didn't know it was backing up real slow. We put the planer down. That doesn't work. Got that fixed, and everything went pretty good. So everything, ag leader side worked good, and on the other road cleaners worked good. So down pressure on them, up and down, air, and the hydraulic down pressure for the planter is ag leader, so everything working good. So that looks like that's going to be it for the night, I think. I got 10 acres I couldn't plant down close to home, but a little wet hole in it, and I'll let her dry tonight. Hopefully hit it early in the morning. Little building here just fell down. Look at that old vulture sitting there. One of them black-headed ones. He's been staying in there for a couple of years. Must have a nest in there, but he stays in there.
We are back from the ball game, and now BJ's at a ball game. So his oldest boy had a baseball game tonight. So he ran a tractor for a little bit, and I'm gonna finish this field. Teamwork makes the dream work, I guess. Clean that window for you. Someone was complaining that the windows were dirty. Oh, get the side window. Don't worry. Don't worry, I'll get that back window. Oh, there she goes. All right, we are done. Ended up talking about baseball games while we were finishing up, but we got done with that field. We are back to the barn, shutting this thing down. We'll see you in the morning.